Oh,
Oops, sorry. I thought I hit the button.
there's the meeting, the first meeting between the zoning administrator and the applicant before the sketch plan review. So maybe maybe I guess that would be where you would tell them all the stuff they have to do. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure, is it an issue of needing more time? Is that?
No, I don't think it's time. I think one of the issues is it's hard to get all the information to make it a complete application. And so in some ways, making it longer would just have somebody would put it off to the last minute anyway.
Right.
So,
right. But it's a pretty critical part of the whole scheme of
right.
getting rid of the preliminary plat to have the sketch plan review be a hearing, and I think the application part seems pretty important too, because I mean the sketch plan has even more requirements than the application, right? So
yes, yeah,
you can't really have the sketch plan meeting without. You would have to know the information. You would have to have the application information in order to have the sketch plan review in any case.
right.
If I understand right.
Yeah, it sounds like the issue is to have all the information and the warning. The warning is it's you have to warn the abutters, and you have to all the legal requirements to hold a legal hearing are significant, but it's not that hard.
And do I understand right from this that there are different potential hearing requirements? So the section 8.9 is one requirement, but then there's another possibility, which is where there's less requirements for the hearing, 3 public places, abutters, and times Argus.
I think those are all, that's the minimum requirement for a hearing, for a public hearing. That's what we got to do when we hold hearings. That's what the DRB does for every one of their hearings.
Yep.
So the language that's different is when you look at the word, if you go to D, public notices for hearings on all other types of development review, including site plan review. So that could be a historic site plan, okay? Yeah. Historically, I've considered the sketch plan to be more of a site plan review. And when you do the site plan review, it's like 7 days. So they give it to me at 15 days. And if it's a completed application, they're going to already have all the addresses. I'm just going to have to make the hearing notifications. So I can get that done. I have to make up the notice, right?
Right.
And I also have to put it, I have to put it for the 3 public places. The only difference is I don't have to get in the newspaper, and the newspapers were the one that takes 20 to 25 days. So if we consider the sketch plan to be a D in 8.9, so we would say this meeting shall be warned according to section. And then D, hearing and notice requirements. It specifically says we're using D instead of C. And then we can get it done in the 15 days.
Is there Karen, is there a legal, I guess this might be a thing for the League of Cities and Towns, which is what is or actually I can go to the website. is that something just for Plainfield, or that we have that less? So, I mean, the difference is the extra days and the times Argus, right?
Yep.
I get, yeah, I'm guessing if I went to the Vermont, the statute, it would, that's how it would read.
Right.
And I think in the case of a major subdivision sketch plan review, it should have, it should be C, the more strict one. Don't you think, David?
Um, if it's possible, I mean, if it's a doable thing, then I do, but, I'm not, it's the abutters being notified.
Right.
That seems the most important to me.
And that happens both ways, but
That happens both ways, so.
Yeah.
I think I would say I wouldn't object if it's legal. And if it's significantly easier for Karen, I don't object.
Okay.
But it's still 3 public places, the abutters, and,
The post a sign on the property.
right,
There'll be the posted sign on the property.
right. And then what will happen, so that then the subdivision, when it's time for the subdivision plan meeting after the sketch plan, and there's the subdivision plan, what would the hearing notice for that be? That would be the 8.9?
Well, 8.9 has, the different criteria, and I think that would be the 15 days and the Times Argus edition.
Right. So I think if it makes Karen's life easier and it's legal, as long as the subdivision plan is section C, I would think it would be okay for the sketch plan to be section D.
Okay. So then if sort of that's the consensus, then all we really need is under section 5.3 is to clarify the sketch plan as being section 8.9 D.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. I can make those changes, and we've taken another step forward in the process.
So do we have them do we have them do another application for the subdivision and pay another fee? Or
well, we still got to talk about fees someday, but I think the idea is that's an interesting question, because if they just get to the sketch plan review and they decide they don't want to do it, then they paid a bigger fee than they needed to. But the fees theoretically cover the cost, the administrative cost on your end and the cost of posting the hearings and all that stuff. I mean, the Times Argus, it's administrative fee, and they add in the Times Argus and some of that work. So that's a question that my feeling is they should. What's the fee now? I don't have do you remember off the top of your head, Karen?
$100 for DRB hearing and $100 per plus $100 per lot.
That sounds good enough for me. Let's pay. What do you think, Dave? One payment, good to go.
I think so. I think having the full payment before the sketch plan review ensures that you've got the person or persons or whatever it is are serious and they're going to do the work, and the requirements for the sketch plan review are pretty extensive. So that most of the requirements for the whole subdivision are in the sketch plan review. So I think that's reasonable. and it sets a bar that nobody's gonna waste Karen and the DRB's time if they're not serious.
Yeah, okay. So I'll just try to read through it and make sure there's the one fee covers it all. That makes sense to you, Karen?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll make these changes and send the stuff out. And Charlie, you want a copy of what we're talking about? Well, I might send it to him anyway. And then David had asked about the hearing, a narrative about a hearing, and
I'm unmuted. I don't need it.
okay, I don't want to burden you.
Hard enough to unmute. Thank you, Bobby.
Okay, okay, thanks. No worries. A narrative for the hearing, and we do need to send out a hearing. But what I sent out, what I emailed you guys is the report for the zoning, which meets all the statutory requirements of what I have to send to the other towns and the Central Vermont Regional Planning Commission and the Department of Housing and whatever it is called in Vermont. So I just made some bullet points and just want some feedback. One of the things I did say is it keeps all the existing requirements for review and appeals. And that's not really true because we've shortened the appeal process. So I guess it's true in the sense the requirements are still the same. We didn't change those, we just contracted the process. And we did contract the appeals. They're still there, but numerically they're less. So I thought about that statement after I sent it, and I thought, what do you guys think about, or what do you think about what I wrote? Did you get a chance to read it? The bullet points, or I can read them to you now.
Yeah, I read it. I thought it was a pretty a good description. I was, it seemed, anybody who's wants to seriously understand will have to look at the full document, but I think it states the intent well.
Okay, if you think of anything to add, let me know. And I don't, until we do the actual set a date and warning, we don't need to send this out. But I think I would like to, well, actually, I have to write a report for the town report, the planning commission, and I'll describe what we've done this year. But I might add these points of what's upcoming for additional zoning amendments coming sometime this year, 2026. And I'll use these as bullet points to add in that report. Is that okay?
Works for me.
Yeah. I have to submit a budget. I'm going to meet with Josh on Friday, and it'll probably be about the same budget. We did have a grant for the NDA work that we did with the Regional Planning Commission. That's pretty much run its course. We've got the NDA. We're all done. So whatever else we'd be doing with the Regional Planning Commission, we don't have any specifics because we're not going to take on the town plan update yet because we, like other town bodies, don't want to give us more work than we can handle. This is plenty, in my opinion. And it's not out of date. Technically, it's just out of date in spirit because it doesn't describe what's going on in town. But that's for a future discussion. Okay, Karen, you good with those points?
Yes.
Okay. Then I will make those changes. I'll send them out. I'll get them out to you probably in the next day or two with the minutes. They're pretty minor. They're just a couple words, but it's worth, we haven't heard from Jesse on the draft, and I'll send it both as I'll clean up the PDF a little bit if I can. And, because I can't read the Word document very well. I can change it, the view of it, but when I see all the edits, I just dyslexic like crazy. And I can read the PDF because that's like normal language. But we do need to provide that as a resource document for Riley, because he will. I'm sure he'll enjoy it.
Yeah, more power to him. It's hard. He's good at it. So.
Yeah, he's excellent at it. He's way better than, I can't handle it. I start to just go blotto. Maybe I should make it all one color, but then it's even worse.
Right.
I don't know. Okay. Well, that's a good step forward. I think we're getting close to a pretty clean document that's addressed what we've done. We should certainly keep looking at it, because every time you look at it, you see something that's not quite right. And I appreciate David and Karen looking at it, because I miss these things, and it's good to have somebody else. More eyes, the better. So,
yep.
Okay. I think. Yep.
So the next 2 meetings, I think, I'll be away. I can zoom in, but I won't be able to be here. So.
Okay. Well, Karen could always make it, and Jesse, I'll ask him what his schedule is, and maybe we'll change it to Tuesdays or something.
And if we change it, I wouldn't be upset if we made it earlier.
Me neither. I'll ask. It depends. It's the working people that have to get home from work.
Right.
And the select board moved it earlier too. Right. Because their meetings tend to go real late, but I'd be fine with 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Karen, would you be okay with that? I don't know what your schedule is like these days.
Who knows? I can't do 6 o'clock on Mondays.
Okay, but if we moved it to Tuesday or Thursdays?
Right at this point in time, I would prefer Tuesday over Thursday, but it doesn't really matter to me.
Okay, and the DRB meetings are usually Wednesdays, right?
Wednesday, the second Wednesday of the month.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll just ask Jesse what his schedule is. I think we'd have to change it on the town meeting. We'd have to post it and do all those things, because right now we don't have to post every planning commission meeting time other than the agenda. It's on the town website, but we can do that. It used to be Thursdays, and we changed it to Mondays to accommodate one of the members.
Yeah, whatever works.
Yeah. Well, I don't want Jesse to go into a big guilt trip. He can't make all the meetings, so we'll be glad to accommodate him. Yeah. And I don't want him to give up his theater career, because who knows? He might be on Broadway in a couple of years. I don't know. Okay, I think that's good. I'll make the changes and send them out along with the minutes.
And we're not going to worry yet about schedule.
No. We need to be all here and pick a date that works.
Yeah.
And then it's 30 days out from that. So.
Yep. Okay.
It might even be better to. Who knows? We'll keep working on it. I'd like to have. We can all say this is comfortable. We're good with it.
I just think the big concern is we'd like to get this passed before the next round of village expansion.
Then who knows when that'll be?
Right, but I'm just saying, I wouldn't want them to get started in the process and then, because this would be less strict, and so you're supposed to go with the strictest one.
Yeah.
So they put it in before.
Yeah, but once the select board warns their hearing, doesn't that put it into effect?
That counts.
Okay. Yeah. So it's not quite as long as we think, but we want to keep moving, we certainly will get it done.
And the other subdivision that would be coming in again would be the Bearish one.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't know how many months that's going to be.
How many years that'll be? Okay.
I wish they could get they could get along, but they can't.
Apparently
right.
not. Okay, can we have a motion to adjourn?
Yep.
So move, a second?
Yep.
Okay, all in favor? Thanks, everybody. Thanks for coming into town, David.
Yep, no problem.
Okay, see ya.